Welcome back everyone. It's been a little while since I last did a vlog, so I thought, you know what, I will go out and try and record something this time. I'll just get all my gear together and out of the car. We'll go for a wander and I will explain all about where I am and what I'm hoping to photograph today. Right, okay, probably get some funny looks as I vlog this as I walk out of the car park. I'm at a place called Langford Lakes, which is part of Wiltshire Wildlife Trust's group of nature reserves. As you can see behind me, there's a car park. It's actually very, very busy today. I don't think I've seen as many cars here in a long time. And one of the reasons why I've come here actually is because it's a grey, gloomy day and it has got a few hides. I thought I need to get out for some photography. I haven't done it for a while. It'd be really, really nice if I could perhaps go somewhere, given that it's a kind of a rainy day, where I can just sit in a hide, have some protection from the elements, and just chill and just see what happens. So that's pretty much the plan. Just arrived at the main entrance, so I'm going to spin this camera around and then just show you the signs here. So just a few species that you'll be able to see here. Dragonflies, there's absolutely loads of them here. It's a fantastic place to come for dragonflies. I certainly see loads every time I'm here. Otters you'll see to the top right hand side. I've never seen them myself, but obviously presumably they're here, they're on the sign. Kingfisher is a bird that I do see quite regularly here, and great crested grebes, I've seen it here before as well. So spin you around again and carry on talking as we walk. So the plan here today actually is to try and photograph Marsh Harriers. Now I was here last week in glorious sunshine and I managed to photograph a Marsh Harrier. I think it was a female. Not quite as close up as I'd like, they never are they? But you know, in good light and at a reasonable distance using the R7, which I have on me here, and the 100 to 500mm lens. I didn't at the time have a teleconverter with me, so I was stuck at, what's the range on that? 700mm? No, probably a little bit more than 700mm. A 1.6 crop. My maths is terrible, you'll have to work it out, or I'll probably pop it on the screen. Whilst I'm on the way to the main site, I'll just go to the first, for want of a better word, fishing peg, and spin you around. So as you'll see, maybe I can zoom out on, I've only got an 80mm lens, so I don't know how much you'll be able to make of this, but right in front of there are a ton of Canada geese. And as I spin you around here, just probably just about make out a swan swimming there. And right in front, I'm surprised they haven't flown off yet. I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cormorants, make that 9, one coming into land, drying off their wings. And I've got a few lovely cormorant shots, which I got last week and I think the week before as well, which I'll pop on screen for you now. But anyway, the cormorants are not the target for today. The target for today, as I said, is hen harrier, and Marsh Harrier, and if I'm lucky, very lucky, we might even get to see a kingfisher as well. I do see kingfisher here quite regularly, but I don't find them. I don't often get them perching for me to take a photograph. I usually see them flying through quite fast, quite quickly, and by the time I've spotted them, they're usually gone before I can get a camera on them, let alone even try and focus. But maybe I'll be a bit more lucky today. Right, so we're approaching the cafe, affectionately known as the Kingfisher Cafe. I've never had any coffee or cake here. I have at one of their other reserves though, Lower Moor, and if you've ever been there, I thoroughly do recommend their homemade cakes. Absolutely awesome and amazing. Yeah, so the cafe overlooks the lake, which I guess would be quite nice to see what you can find or what you can see whilst looking for wildlife. A cup of coffee, bit of cake, maybe spot a kingfisher or two. Probably not a bad way to spend an afternoon, especially if the weather's nice. Fortunately, the weather's not so nice today, but never mind. We get what we're given and make the most of it. Okay, so we're approaching the last hide that I want to go into, where the Marsh Harrier was last time. So what you see in front of you is called Great Meadow. So Great Meadow is on the bank of the River Wylie. I probably haven't pronounced that correctly. If you do know how to pronounce it properly, then please tell me. And in fact, all of these lakes are very close to that river, which is a chalk stream basically. And as a result, obviously kingfishers that pass through will often visit the lakes and spend quite a bit of time on the lakes, which is nice. Now, I haven't really ever seen much myself in Great Meadow other than an absolute stack of Canada geese. In fact, it's looking a little bland today. It's normally absolutely full of Canada geese. I don't know where they've gone. Yeah, I am told that occasionally, very occasionally, you'll also find migrating osprey as well that will visit this area. In fact, talking of Canada geese, you probably won't see it. I have just found them. They're all on the lake. I don't know if you'll be able to make out with this tiny camera. Sorry, tiny wide-angle lens. Probably not. But there's an absolute stack of Canada. In fact, you probably hear them, and you might just be able to make them flying off. Now, there's some of them just flown off the lake. There's quite a lot of Canada geese around here, but here comes another one. Yeah, anyway, I'm almost at the hide, and shouldn't be too long setting up. Well, I'm not sure if you can see that or if it's too dark, but here is the sign for Great Meadow, just before the final hide, which we're about to enter. And I guess it's part of Great Meadow where the Marsh Harrier also was hunting, but you can see here migratory osprey passing through. I've never seen one here myself, but I have heard of them here, and I have seen them written on the board quite a few times where people have spotted them. You know, maybe we'll be lucky today. I don't really fancy my chances, to be honest with you, for osprey, but you know, I certainly wouldn't say no to getting a nice photograph of an osprey. Who wouldn't? But we'll see what happens anyway. I'm at the hide, so just about to go in now. I've got to be ultra careful here that camera that's filming me, it doesn't fall over. It's like the sort of thing that normally happens to me. It's on a little gorilla pod, balanced on a bench. I'm going to be using a teleconverter today. Last time when I photographed the Marsh Harrier, I didn't have the teleconverter with me, which is a bit of a faux pas really. But it was on an R7, so at least I had some reach. And on top of that, I'm not sure how well the teleconverter is going to perform on an R7. It's a bit of an unknown, so today is a bit of a first test run. I know that on a DSLR, for example, on the old EF system, the teleconverters were absolutely terrible on crop sensor bodies. Like my 77D, I don't know about the 70 Mark II, I never had one. Okay, so the species that we've got out on the lake at the moment that I can see, we've got Canada geese, there's lapwing out there, there are mallard ducks, there are, I'm not too good at my wading birds, but there's a wading bird out there, and I think maybe in the distance some little grebes. But hopefully you're now seeing some photos of all of them, and or moving video, and you might be able to tell me what was the name of the wading bird, because I'm not too clued up on my waterfowl, I have to say. Okay, so I'm just going to go and show you the scene in front of me out these windows. So on this little island here, we've got a combination of some Canada geese, some mallard ducks. One of the wading birds that I mentioned earlier that I don't know what it is. I can just see a little grebe, I think, in the distance. There is a perch just in front of the other island there, with obviously more birds on there. Last time I was here, I did see, I think it's either a white wagtail or a pied wagtail. Sat on that perch for a bit, and I was able to get a few shots at distance. And then if I spin you around again, we've got a middle island in the middle, packed full of birds, and then the one closer to me that I've got my camera trained on at the moment is, let's just try and get it in focus, has on it lapwing, Canada geese, mallard ducks, a moorhen, and I think that's all I can make out for now. But what is interesting, you might see just there, is a perch. Now I don't know whether that's been put there for photographic use or whatever. This is just a regular bird hide, so you know it's not a photography hide as such. But it would be lovely if a kingfisher landed on that perch. It's in good range for me. I got a nice background, a nice green diffused background with the equipment I've got on, and I have actually seen kingfisher flying just behind the perch to and from, but not actually settling on it. So, you know, maybe today's the day, you never know. There's a field the other side, just there, and the River Wiley, if I pronounce that correctly, flows just by those trees. And again, out of sight of me certainly and this camera. But where we're looking for Marsh Harrier action is this, for want of a better word, like a reed bed area just to the right of the lake. And the great thing about shooting over there is that in the evening the sun is dead behind you, so it lights up the wildlife and the Marsh Harrier, especially being a slightly darker bird. When it turns over and the sun lights up its underbelly, it really does provide good quality lighting. Right, so I've been here roughly 2 hours now. Quite a lot of people have come in, so I haven't really been filming because I didn't want to A, cause a disturbance or create some noise through talking, and also I'm a little bit self-conscious still about being on camera anyway. So no filming during that time, but we have had visitors from herons flying in, some cormorants flying in, and 2 new species for me in terms of education. Smaller birds I'm not too good at, but thankfully there's a chart on the wall to the right hand side that's going to help me out. And one of those being a snipe, and the other one being a common sandpiper, which was singing away and making quite a lot of noise. In fact, it's still out there now. You might just pick it up on the microphone perhaps. And we've got behind me, I'm not 100% sure what they are. I'm not even going to try to film them, but I think it's a load of golden plover. I'm almost certain it's golden plover. So quite a lot of different species here, and it's quite calming, quite soothing, quite a nice place to spend an afternoon if you want to kind of relax or chillax, however you want to phrase it. No sign of any Marsh Harriers yet, though. I've been keeping a close eye out, and yeah, not yet. But there's still, I'm going to say there's probably 2 hours left of daylight. Given it's a bit of an overcast day, I'm expecting to lose the light around about 7 o'clock. So we've still got 2 hours, and I'm going to sit tight patiently and see what happens. In fact, one thing I should have done is have a look at the book. Most hides at wildlife reserves have a book or a logbook. So let's have a look and see what's been sighted today and yesterday. So we've got, what date is it today? 16th of September. So 16th of September, pied wagtail. Nothing more interesting that I've mentioned than the pied wagtail. Marsh Harrier yesterday. So it's still around, hopefully. Marsh Harrier yesterday. Right, okay, I reckon I've got about an hour and a half now left of daylight. It started raining as well, so probably not the best conditions for a Marsh Harrier to hunt in, although I'm not sure the kingfisher will be too bothered by the water if it does turn up. They've flown. Can you see that or hear that? I was just about to go and show you afterwards how I know that they're about to all fly. It's quite comical really. They all start standing up and yapping at each other, and then all of a sudden they just seem to take off all in sync. It's really quite entertaining, but you get a good couple of minutes warning before they take off due to the noise they start to make. Okay, I think I need to call it a day, unfortunately. No pictures of a Marsh Harrier today, although I did see one just for about 15 seconds. I wasn't able to bring you in. There were other people in the hide at the time. I didn't want to make a noise and disrupt peace and quiet in there. And in any case, there was no time really to grab any photos. I had about 15 seconds. I think about 15 seconds maybe to see it just go out of view, unfortunately. But I mean, I could identify it through binoculars as a female, so it's more than likely going to be the same one that I took a picture of that you've seen earlier on. That I took a picture of last week. But you know, that said, what a nice way to spend an afternoon to chill out. You know, loads and loads of bird species, especially water bird species. Some new ones to me, such as snipe, sandpiper, lots of lapwing as well, which I think are quite pretty. Obviously, lots of Canada geese and ducks and other birds as well. So, and of course, oh yeah, pied wagtail or white wagtail. I'm not sure which of the two it is. Just keeping a bit of an eye out for that harrier over that field. If it shows itself again over Great Meadow, I don't think it's going to. Yeah, so really nice. I hope you enjoyed that. Once again, if you liked it, enjoyed it, learned anything, then please give me a like, thumbs up on YouTube. Obviously helps my channel out, and hopefully I will try and film videos for you a bit more regularly going forward. I better just explain why I've been so silent really. Nothing bad. I've just been really stacked with work. I've had a summer holiday as well, and on top of that, let's be honest, we haven't had the greatest summer, really, have we? There's been lots of rain, and I'll be honest with you, it's put me off a little bit. On top of that, I have spent an absolute stack of time trying to find and photograph long-eared owls in the wild. That's without going to any paid hides or anything like that. It's not something I tend to enjoy doing. In fact, I've never done. I enjoy trying to find the wildlife myself, and sort of enjoying what I hope are more unique pictures when I do find them. So yeah, I was successful. Yeah, I've tried to do a vlog on it. I've got about 3 months worth of footage that may or may not surface into a video. But if you hit the subscribe button, I'm sure you will be notified if and when one does arrive on long-eared owls. Right, well, that's it from me, and I'll see you all in the next one. Thanks very much. Cheers. Bye-bye.